Hello everyone, I'm NiiNiiFC and this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm bringing you a transfer daily video. Now, there's quite a lot of things to talk about. Today isn't much good news, well, not really, a bit, same old really. To kick things off with, I'm going to be speaking about Bakayoko. Now, it looks like we finally got the reason for why there's been such a massive delay with this transfer and why there hasn't seemed to be much progression with the transfer being closed. Now, it looks like we found out that he's actually still been sustaining his knee injury that he's had since the second half of the season for Monaco. That explains a lot, because when I was watching Monaco a lot of times, especially near the end, he wasn't starting many games. And I think even for the final game of the season, he actually didn't even play a part in it. And of course, it's a knee injury he's still sustaining. He's recovering at Clairefontaine, and it seems that the medical team are confident that he will be completing his medical at Chelsea sometime in the next week. But again, the club leaves for Beijing next Monday for the pre-season tour, and there's fears that he might not even be a part of it, and that means that his pre-season fitness regime is going to be seriously hampered. So if this potentially was the case, this could mean that when the new season starts, he might not start some of the games at the beginning. And we know that we're playing Spurs in the second game of the season, so we really need him to be fit and kick things on straight away. So again, with this transfer, it seems a bit weird that this delay happening with the due to his injury problem. Could Chelsea not, could Chelsea's medical team not sort that out? We've got the best medical team in the league. It seems like something that could be done. There's reports that he actually isn't going to have any surgery on his knee, which is really promising. So I don't understand why he needs to continue his fitness regime at Clairefontaine. But anyway, of course, he's probably doing that for the reason that he doesn't want the medical to fail, because once a medical fails, they're actually really complicated and they take a very long time to complete. I'm sure he wants to make sure he's at optimal condition to perform in it. Now, moving on to Alexandro and the transfer that isn't going to end, it seems, and it seems that maybe we should keep some of our optimism down a tiny bit. If reports are to be believed, Chelsea are very happy to pay the fee that Juventus want. Juventus allegedly have increased the price by an extra €5 million to €75 million, which will work out being, what, £64 million. Chelsea are happy to comply, but now it seems like the big stumbling block is actually tempting Sandro to leave Juventus to sign for Chelsea. This happens quite a lot in football, and really it's up to the boards to really, sell this guy the dreams. We need to really do our best. I think to even have the chance to sign Alexandro is a big statement, and I think that the club really needs to pull this off, because I think that if Sandro was to reject us, I really think that tells us how a lot of professionals see Chelsea at the moment. And if I was the Chelsea boards, there's a lot of work to do to actually create that marketing image that, big players, Chelsea is the team to come to. So, so often, we win leagues, the second league title in 3 years. But when it comes to signing those elite type of players, we're struggling. I don't personally feel we need elite players for every position, but for the key ones for this transfer window, it's essential that we get them. And I think the club needs to go out and really, whatever Sandro wants, even increase his wages by an extra 20,000 if that helps. I mean, we really need to bring this guy in. Chelsea we have a good history of actually going above and beyond to tempting players. So if Sandro did decide he wants to stay, I'm not going to be too harsh with the Chelsea board. For example, the Eden Hazard deal. At the time, a lot of clubs were after him: Real Madrid, Man United, Arsenal, Manchester City. We signed him in the end, and I think the real big reason why we signed this guy was because we agreed to sign his brother at the time. And I think that, if you're Eden Hazard, you're thinking, wow, that this club, they're going to sign my brother, and my brother's going to have his, his future taken care of. He's at Borussia Mönchengladbach at the moment, and of course, it's good for the family. And I think that was really what sold Hazard the dream of, I think Chelsea's the right club to come to progress in my career. And he's had a good career at Chelsea so far with the titles he's won. we've done the same thing again with Charlie Masunda when he was young. We signed both his brothers. That was actually the reason why we signed him, because at the time he was going to go to Barcelona, but they didn't agree to bring his brothers on board as well. Of course, Masunda's with his family, his mum and dad are in England as well. Of course, that was actually a major key for why we signed him in the first place. So again, the Chelsea board, they have the potential to do this. I think they really need to pull it off. And you guys, I think we need to cross our fingers. Now, moving on to Morata. It seems that, I keep saying it seems like a lot, doesn't it? But it seems that he's our next transfer target. And it makes a lot of sense. Now, we know that when clubs are going for players in certain positions, they probably have 4 or 5 targets, or even more than that. So they just whittle down, you know, if they can't get the top target, they go for the second. If they can't go for the second, they go for the third. Doesn't necessarily mean all the players are shit. If you look at last season when NiiNiiFC was the main focal point, we got Kante instead. And I think, you know, that's the beauty of being a Premier League team. With the money we have, you're still going to be able to attract very, very high caliber players, even if you don't get your first choice options. Morata, I like Morata, I do. But if I'm being cynical, the money that Real Madrid want for Morata is actually quite astronomical. And you know, this is a guy that hasn't really cemented himself as a first team striker at all in his career, and he's 24 years old. At Juventus, he couldn't do it. Real Madrid still wasn't able to. I know that he scored 20 goals last season, but a lot of times it came against smaller clubs. Not that that means anything at all. But, you know, I think the context you have to realise the most, which is the key thing, is that when you're at Real Madrid, the attacking, expansive football that they play with Kroos, Modric, Marcelo Carvajal, Isco, players like that, you're going to get chances for your front players to score goals. Now, do I think that's necessarily going to translate to Morata being able to become a 25 goals a season striker immediately in the Premier League? I'm not too sure. I think that if he was to get 15 goals, that's a shout. But I don't know. I think when you spend money like that, I think you're spending money on guarantees. Once you spend past 60 million on a player, you know what you're getting. And I think that in a way, you know, we've sold a lot of young players with massive potential to effectively potentially sign a new striker who is effectively potential himself. It's not guaranteed that he's going to be the top goal scorer that we need. In a way, it's weird, you know, we had players like Bertrand Traore, the guy's 21 years old. I think what he's doing at his career compared to Morata, you could judge that maybe he's shown more promise. I expect Traore to do big things at Lyon. We're going to hear a lot about this guy, and we're going to see him in the transfer window in the next 2-3 years. So you heard it here first. But again, I do like Morata. I feel that he can definitely develop at the club. I love his counter-attacking play, his, you know, dribbling style, how he likes to collect the ball and run with it, and he's comfortable dropping deep, which is very key to this 3-4-3 formation, especially as you know, if he's a member of the front three. And I think he has the potential to actually do something here, especially with players around him like Hazard and Pedro and Willian. If he comes, I'm not going to be disappointed. I think this could potentially be a good signing for us, and sometimes in football, you know what, you have to take the risk. But anyway, in regards to this whole striker situation, I'm actually going to have 2 videos up this week, so you definitely need to watch them. They're going to be very, very interesting. You guys are definitely going to love it. But to end this transfer daily, I'm going to be speaking about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It seems like Crystal Palace want him, and he's close to completing a loan move there. About time. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's kind of disgraceful how Chelsea have developed Ruben Loftus-Cheek in-house. I mean, there's so many things that's gone against this kid. And one thing I'm hoping that if he goes to Palace, I'm praying that he's going to be playing in midfield. I think if he continues to play in this weird striker, you know, attacking mids, winger position, I think the kid's going to be finished, because he's just never going to become a world-class player there. Hopefully with Palace, with the 3-4-3 they play, he could actually become that box-to-box midfielder that they need. And it's crazy that it's taken him so long to potentially get his first full season of football. I mean, twice now he's wanted to leave. Last season in January he wanted to go. The season before, Stoke City wanted to bring him in. Hiddink told him not to go and to stay, that he's going to get chances. I mean, you know, we saw what happened there. And same thing last year. And I really think that Ruben, to me, is a box-to-box midfield player. It's really not hard. Now, this whole myth about him, about his lack of fitness. Well, you have to understand the context. This is a kid who doesn't play in under 21 football, and basically all he can do is train with the first team. So if the guy's not playing any football matches and he's getting the odd 10 minutes every month, how is he going to be able to sustain and build match fitness? I mean, there's a key between, there's a difference between training with the first team and then playing an intense 90-minute match of football. And it takes game time for your body to adjust to that. And it's crazy that it's taken Ruben this long. I think he's a phenomenally gifted player. I love his dribbling style, very elegant when he runs, his passing. And you know what? His tackling is good too. It's really weird. I don't know if everyone's forgotten his debut he had for us against Liverpool when he was playing in defensive midfield. He won 8 tackles in that game, had 100% pass completion, even though most of his passes were really safe. But again, youngsters at Chelsea are told to follow the rules and not express themselves. And this whole myth that Mourinho decided all of a sudden that he can't play in midfield, I think was really harsh. I think it came from the fact that pre-season he wasn't running too much against that, that South Asian team he played against. And I think Mourinho just held it against him ever since and said, you know what, I like his physique, he's a good player. I don't like him in midfield because I expect my midfielders to be very disciplined. And you know what, I'm not a manager that really cares about coaching players and developing them to do what I want. If they're not doing it already, I really don't care. So you know what, the club said that I need to show that I care about youth. This guy's a token youth player to me, let me just push him further upfield. And it hasn't worked out because when Hiddink came, it's not as if Hiddink's known about all our youth team players already. Same thing with Conte as well, so he's kind of developed there. And again, I think Ruben, this is the chance for him now. He needs to go to Palace, he needs to demand the position he wants to play in. He needs to start taking more control and being more assertive of his career, because I think that he has the potential to be a world-class midfield player. Now, to end this video speaking about another youth player to leave Chelsea, yes, Dominic Solanke has officially signed for Liverpool today. He's in the Liverpool kit, and I just want to say good luck to him, and I actually respect him for being brave. Yes, he didn't play a whole year's worth of football last season, and he was adamant that if Chelsea don't show the faith in him to give him chances, then he's not going to accept whatever terms, because we know that Chelsea like to give long contracts to their players to keep them tied to their club, because they hope that within their years of their contract length that they'll be worth a bit of money. And of course, it's not right necessarily, because it plays with a lot of young players' careers, in my opinion. I don't think Solanke wanted to be part of that, and he took the brave decision to actually not play football for a year to make sure that he could leave Chelsea on a free, so he could actually be in control of his own career instead of leaving that at the hands of officials at the club. And yes, he's actually got a massive future ahead of him. Of course, in the Under-20 World Cup, he won Player of the Tournament when England won it. It's his second time that he's won an England, international trophy with the youth teams. He got to the final with the England under-19s, and that's actually a really special generation. And I think that Solanke is someone we'll be hearing about in the Premier League with years to come. Chelsea are disappointed because they're only getting 3 million. They're hoping with the tribunal that it could rise to 10 million. Of course, it's kind of deserved. In my honest opinion, it's kind of deserved. I think that Chelsea really haven't looked after too many of their best prospects. I know it's hard with loans because a lot of times, you can only send players to where they're, where a loan club actually wants them. But at the same time, maybe they should have considered getting more feeder clubs. I was really thinking that with Vitesse, obviously, Baker being with them, he was one of the main reasons why they actually won their first trophy in their 125-year history, that this would have been the starting blocks. Actually, find more clubs to become the next Vitesse, because then we can give that stability and give more players that stability to go on loan there in an environment where they're going to get game time and they're not going to feel like their careers in limbo. So honestly, I really thought a Portuguese club makes a lot of sense. Nothing like that's happened yet though. Maybe I'm just being a bit too naive, maybe it takes longer than that, but there haven't been any attempts is what I'm worried about. But anyway, I like to say, good luck to Dominic Solanke, fantastic player, fantastic finisher. And I can see why he wanted to make the move, because obviously he's looked at some rival players. I think the main one's probably Rashford. He's probably thinking in his head, I'm better than this guy. But look at the success he's having since he's been given a chance. Chelsea aren't going to do that with me. I don't want to be left behind. We know that in football, it's a very, very fast-paced business. If you're not marketing yourself out there in terms of performances and playing, then clubs won't look at you. So I think Solanke made the right decision going to Liverpool, where he's going to complement how they play. Plus, he's playing under Klopp, who's actually going to play him. So good luck to him. Now, anyway, you guys, I want to end this video here. Please like, comment and subscribe. I want to say thank you to everyone that sent me video messages for the Snapchat Q&A yesterday. It meant a lot. Again, there's going to be another one this Friday, so please add the Snapchat account, that is Blue Lions TV. Add that and please send a video message. Now, I know a lot of people are nervous to show their face. You don't have to show your face, just, you know what, have the audio there at least. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching today's Transfer Daily video. I will see you all later.